Liza Long is a woman who wrote a blog basically saying that she is the mother of Adam Lanza. Now, she isn't actually the mother of Adam Lanza, but she has a 13-year-old son that has a mental illness that, she can't identify. She's gone to several different specialists. She's tried to figure out what it is, and some people say that it might be autism. Some people say it might be explosive disorder. We've talked about that on the show before, but they don't know what it is exactly. And the thing that happens with her son is every once in a while he will break out in a fit of violence. So there was one situation where he pulled out a knife. In fact, she writes the following. A few weeks ago, Michael pulled a knife and threatened to kill me and then himself after I asked him to return his overdue library books. His 7- and 9-year-old siblings knew the safety plan. They ran to the car and locked the doors before I asked them to. I managed to get the knife from Michael, then methodically collected all the sharp objects in the house into a single Tupperware container that now travels with me. Through it all, he continued to scream insults at me and threatened to kill or hurt me. So she's been going through this for a while, and she's trying to figure out a way to institutionalize him, basically find a mental health facility that can help him out. And the only real option that she's been given in the past is, well, you're gonna have to throw him in some sort of juvenile facility, then there'll be a paper trail, and if we collect a paper trail—
In other words, incarcerate him first.
Incarcerate him first, and then we'll have evidence that he has some sort of mental health disorder, and then maybe we could put him into some sort of mental health facility. I should note that she does have health insurance, but there is a huge problem when it comes to mental health facilities in this country because they're severely underfunded. They get cuts, or they get their funds cut year after year.
In fact, on the state level, they've got a cut by over $4 billion just from 2009 to 2012. Mm-hmm. And we keep chopping away at it and then go, oh, I wonder why we're not doing anything about the mentally ill. Right now, some Republicans throw out words about, why? Because they want to distract you from guns. So they say, oh, mental health, we should do something about that. Really? Great. Let's then reinstate their budget. Well, I don't want to do that because I want to cut all the spending. So I'm not going to do either one of those things. And look, there's a couple of facets to this that's interesting. One, it's so frustrating not to be able to know what's wrong with a kid. I mean, they say autism spectrum, right? And that could be Asperger's, it could be more. But a lot of people will tell you that autism doesn't necessarily lead to more violence at all. And so that's questionable. And then some say maybe even ADHD, but that seems really mild for what this kid is doing, as she explains in her article. And then, of course, what Anna alluded to is oppositional, defiant, or intermittent explosive disorder, which sounds pretty bad. Right?
Intermittent explosive disorder. I remember a long time ago we did a story on that. We questioned the legitimacy of that disorder, whether or not it actually exists. But it's interesting to hear about it in this context.
Look, it's very hard to categorize for these kids, and we don't know what Adam Lanza himself had, etc. At the same time, the mental health professionals, I think, go too far when they say, no, kids with autism, with Asperger's, etc., are less likely to be violent, and they have stats, and these people are less violent. And I believe it on a case-by-case basis, but when you put it in sum, what I keep asking is, okay, but obviously some people have some mental disorder that leads to this, right? Whether it's what happened with Adam Lanza or whether it's Liza Long's son, obviously some people have a mental issue that does lead to violence. So can we figure out what that is? It's not to discriminate against people. It's to be smart and have common sense, and not just for our own well-being, but for that person's well-being, so they don't hurt themselves, right?
Yep.
And we've got to look into it. Now, at the same time, I think Liza's wrong. She's gotten all this on Gawker alone, which ran it second, actually. She put it up on her own, on her blog. Gawker runs it, got 2.6 million views, and now it's everywhere, many multiples of that. And the title is, I am Adam Lanza's mother. But the reality is you're not, because you put away the knives. Whereas Adam Lanza's mother had 12 weapons in the house. Now, look, Lanza killed his mom first. She's dead. You don't speak ill of the dead. And look, poor woman, it was really hard dealing with him throughout, etc. Obviously, I feel terrible for her. She's dead right now. But you got to call it as it is, okay? With a kid who obviously had some significant mental issues in the house, having 12 guns is a disastrous idea.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that, if anything, this tragic event would serve as a learning experience for everyone in the country. Okay, I mean, we've done numerous stories about children that have accidentally shot themselves because their parents didn't put the gun away properly. If you have a mentally ill, child in the house, you shouldn't have a gun, period, under any circumstances. In fact, we need to obviously have a larger discussion about gun laws in this country, but, it's kind of incredible because she took her son to the shooting range at the age of 9. So she taught her son how to shoot a gun. In fact, 60 Minutes did a piece on this. Let's take a look at the video so you guys have a little more insight into the gun she had in her home.
The guns Adam Lanza carried into the school, a rifle and 2 pistols like these, were all legal, registered to his mother under Connecticut laws, which are among the strictest in the nation.
It's troubling, it's not what you want to do, especially when someone is mentally ill.
Yeah. No, she shouldn't have had the guns in the house. And you can say anything you like, but remember what the conservatives always say, look, you need those guns to defend yourself. Well, how'd that work out? She didn't use the guns to defend herself. Her son used the guns to kill her and then 26 other people, including 20 young kids. So the guns in the house do not make you safer. They actually make you a lot less safe. And I guess it's impolite, it's politically incorrect, but it was dumb having the guns in the house with a kid that has mental issues. And by the way, it's also dumb to have it in the house with kids that don't have mental issues.
Look,
a 3-year-old just shot himself accidentally over the weekend. It happens all the time. It doesn't mean, that you should have, if you've got kids that don't have mental issues, have guns all over the place, it'll protect you. No, it won't, it'll kill you.
So I know you're hesitant to criticize some of the decisions she made, but look, like I said before, I think it's important to learn from these experiences. I don't think that you're speaking ill of her, but obviously people make mistakes, whether or not they die as a result of those mistakes, and it's important to learn from them. So I just hope that this is a teachable moment.